Hello, I'm Doug Walker.
And I'm Rob Walker.
And this is Sibling Rivalry.
Our movie today is Wreck-It Ralph, a film set in a video game world, kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit meets Donkey Kong. And, you know what, I'm not good at describing this.
Just do it!
Fine.
You're going great. Come on, I believe in you. I believe in you.
I'm gonna smack you. I'm gonna smack the black off.
Come on, here you go. Tilt the head. Here you go.
Okay. Our movie today is Wreck-It Ralph, starring John C. Reilly as a video game character, sort of from the Donkey Kong world, who gets sick of his job of always being the villain and decides he's going to break loose and try to become a hero for a change. Doing this, he gets wound up in other video game worlds and kind of creates a sort of black hole sort of scenario where he'll not only destroy his game, but another game, and there's viruses and aliens and a whole bunch of crossover stuff, and it gets kind of confusing, but it's still good. So, Doug,
I think you need more Night Trap. Night Trap was in this.
Where was
the
Night Trap reference?
we thought it was obvious.
Yeah, obviously, it's a family picture.
Night Trap. No, I'll say this. Both the strength and I guess you could say the weakness of the film are sort of the same thing in that they're really advertising like there's a lot of video game characters. And there's really not, or they're not in there for very long. But I think that sort of plays to the strength because then you just have to rely on the individual characters, and they're very likable. And I think the world
could have
creates
used
very
more
likable.
Zelda CDI though. I think that would have made the movie, but
I was waiting for
someone
Sonic to talk about Bad Touch.
chili dogs.
When we talking about going
No one
to
has
other...
the right to touch your chili dog.
When we talking about, like, you know, video game characters going to other games, and if you leave, you die and stuff, I just wanted to say, just get out of there and alert an adult. And that's the one thing did you think in this movie, though, at the very end, in the climax, like, I thought maybe all the video game characters were going to come in and they're going to have this big battle or something like that.
That would require all of these corporations to get along
But
for an extra 60 seconds.
I mean, that's sort of my
you're
thought, that
asking-
it probably cost a fortune already to get
I will
these
say this,
characters.
I think we can look back now and see what a friggin' miracle Roger Rabbit was.
Yeah, it really was.
But I think that also had the advantage of, was there any MGM characters in that? Was that strictly Warner Brothers?
They had Droopy and a couple of characters.
That may have been the issue. You had three major corporations. When you get into the video game world, now you're talking Konami, you're talking Nintendo, you're talking Sega.
Practically every video game character has their own
you've got Atari. Yeah, it's crazy. Midway Namco,
whoever owns Pong.
Obviously, I think what happened is somebody used chloroform and got the heads of these guys.
And them say, sign this, it's for candy.
And
okay.
it's like, we need to make this really fast before any of them wakes up and realizes what they've done. But what is cool about it is, despite the fact, that we didn't get much of it, you do get some of it, and let's be honest, folks, this is as close to a Nintendo movie you're going to get.
A good video game movie for...
Not only a good video game movie, but a Nintendo movie, because, since Super Mario Brothers, they've had Pokemon and that's it. This is it. This is all you get.
Hey, Tron Legacy.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is kind of, sort of based on a video game. Kind of, sort of.
No, but I mean, Nintendo guards their movie licenses like it's the friggin' Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. It's like if they let one loose, people start melting like wax.
Let's hope this will actually lead to more video game movies, like ones that they put just as much effort as they did
ones
into
where they
this
care.
one.
Yeah,
I mean, just as much effort as they put into this one.
That's what kills me. It's like, you just proved you could actually make a good video game movie. Oh, and guess what? It's about video games! It's not like, we're gonna take Super Mario Brothers and it's gonna be about Dennis Hopper.
We're gonna put him in the city.
Yeah, it's like, you actually did this and it's about video games. Why do people not do this?
Well, and what I like is that they're mixing the satire of current games, and old games, while also using some of the characters, but they also had to remake some of their own worlds, like, the Sugar Rush is sort of Mario Kart.
Yeah, well, and I mean, we're complaining about it, but let's be honest, for what they had to do, because
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's obvious they couldn't get all of these things. It's too much copyright going on. They created a Mario Kart game that I looked at and was like,
I want to play that game.
license that! I would actually totally play that. Sure, it looks like Rainbow Bright farted all over Mario Kart, but it still looks pretty fun.
But which also brings the voice actors. I mean, they just fit like a glove. I mean, they totally slip into the John C. Reilly.
Well, he's like casting call's answer for we need every man now.
Yeah, the every man.
Bill Paxton's getting too old. Get me John C. Reilly.
Sarah Silverman, who hasn't been around for a while, I think she just does great.
I always thought she was like kind of like hit and miss. I did like her show. But her humor is just very like, there's sometimes I'm like, she's hilarious, other times it's like, seriously.
I thought she nailed it.
Yeah, she's kind of like Dane Cook like that. Like, it just depends on my mood. But like, yeah, she was perfectly cast in this.
And
Jane Lynch, who is contractually obligated to be in everything, for some reason still managed not to like annoy me by being in this.
Has one of the funniest backstories of any character.
Greatest backstory ever.
The visual, the visual for this.
Don't give it away, but they give
one
her,
of the funniest visuals.
She's like the sergeant, and they give her this like horrific backstory that like I couldn't stop laughing.
It's both tragic and funny at the same time.
Well, and that's the thing. I think the kids like there was sort of an element of the kids, at least when I saw it, like that night, that they were just like, "Oh my god, that's awful!" And I'm like, "We're laughing." I'm like, "That's great."
So,
but no, it's the one interesting thing is it reminded me of Men in Black 3, which people like have asked me. It's like, "What did you think of MIB3?" And I'm like, "Not that funny." But probably the most character-driven Men in Black movie ever made. I mean, at least since the first.
Yeah, I would say that this is a little shorter on the laughs. Yeah,
it's not
as many laughs.
It's not Shrek.
But it's so creative, too, in the way they create this video game. Where I think everybody's had this idea at some point, but the way they go from world to world.
It's completely driven by story, characters, with interesting backstories, an interesting moral lesson. Yeah, you want to talk about the moral lesson for a second? Maybe you should just accept the fact that you suck. I'm like, wow, Disney, that's awesome. That's the first time I've seen that in a long
what I
time.
like, it's not just the main character, though. The other characters had to go through a lesson, too. See, that's why I like where
it's about...
I like that.
It's about live and let live and acceptance, but like, what I'm really thinking is like, wow, so at the end, you go through this entire adventure and you're just like, you know what, my life kind of blows, and I'll always be kind of looked at this way, but you know what, I guess I have a purpose, and that purpose is to suck. So once I come to grips with that, you know...
But he also helps other people find their purpose and stuff like that, too. Like
he does, but
stuff like that.
I like a moral like that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no,
there's a realistic moral. It's none of this.
Live with it.
Your dreams will come true. You'll find your prince. Like, no, you blow. but
that's okay.
With that. And that's okay. I'm bad, and that's all right.
So, bottom line, I think we both really, really like this movie.
Yeah, I'd see it. Don't expect to laugh every second.
Yeah, it's not a die-hard comedy, but it's real strong characters, creative story, and the plots are kept me guessing too, which I like. You may see the twist coming at the end, but it sort of caught me off guard, and I really enjoyed it.
The twist on... It's funny because it's another interesting thing where it's like, it's lame, and yet the payoff and the joke made it so worth it.
I thought it was a good twist. I
think you know what I'm talking about. It's like, wow, this place just got interesting. And it was worth it just for that one line.
And
so
it's like Hot Fuzz too, where
everywhere,
every time you think it's going to go in a direction you're not going to like, it brings it to a better direction you never thought of. And I really like it for that.
No, it was creative and it was good. And like, I'll take a sequel.
Yeah,
judging by the video game rules, is going to be completely different, have nothing to do with the rest of the series, and then people are going to consider it the black sheep, and then next thing you know, there'll be a third game, which will be better.
I'll watch it either way.
Wreck-It Ralph 2 will look like Zelda 2 and
It'll be Wreck-It Ralph X.
Super Mario 2, yeah. He'll be pulling out vegetables. That's what we need.
And they'll all be
pulling out vegetables, Dracula's Curse, turn into
Whenever it goes to night, it takes like an hour.
It's a side-scroller now, even though originally it was a top-down RPG. Yeah, like take all the worst video game sequel elements.
We best not write this sequel, because we probably do all that, actually.
We're going to get our asses handed.
It'd be like the ultimate in-joke. So, guys, thank you so much. This was Sibling Rivalry. If there's any nostalgic movies, because that's something else we're going to do. We're going to be looking at nostalgic movies, preferably good ones. But just...
Not Garbage Pail Kids.
Just a film that you enjoyed seeing growing up and maybe you wanted us to look at or talk about.
And not issue. Batman and Robin.
Let us know. And,
on second thought, just don't send us any.
No,
just kidding.
Let us know what nostalgic movies you'd like us to look at, talk about, maybe something you thought deserves more attention, and we'll see if we can take a look at it.
Please make it Night Trap.
We need to look at Night Trap. Just the video parts.
Actually, let's play it.
Let's go.
All right.
Movies!